Hey, what's going on, guys? Coming at you with an updated deck profile for January 2016, still following, of course, November 2015 ban list, and today I'll be showing you guys my Clown Lightsworn deck. So this deck will not have any of the new cards from Breakers of Shadow. I did go to the sneak peek for that the other day at my locals, but didn't really pull anything that I wanted from it. So we'll talk about during the profile some of the cards from Breakers of Shadow that you could definitely play in here if you do have them going forward into the Bosch format. And then I'll also talk about some of the more expensive cards that if you do own or have the money to pay for, that you could definitely play in place of some of these. But do keep in mind, similar to the last build I showed you guys, this is going to be a budget version of Lightsworn Clowns, or you could even call them Clown Sworns. So starting off with the monsters, we have the Free Judgment Dragon, since we do play a large enough Lightsworn engine to really get this off consistently. I believe it's 13, or I think it's now 12 Lightsworns with 6 different names, so you can pretty consistently get it off, and it's just JD. Then we have the Free Raiden, the Free Lumina, the 2 Lila, and then one of the new changes with this build is I cut Wolf down to 2. Kind of the theory of playing Free Wolf and Free Chick Clown was that you wanted to maximize your odds of actually hanging them off your mills so that you could just plus off of getting them from the field with their effects. But the one problem with doing that is that you'll a lot of times end up paying multiples of them. Like with Wolf, for example, you can hit multiples in your hand. With Trick Clown, you can end up milling multiples to where you only get one of them off and the other one's kind of dead. So I kind of feel like going down to 2 may be that right number to where you hit enough to where you get off enough, but you're not clogging with multiples in your hand, or in the case of Trick Clown, by milling multiples. So it's kind of why I went down to 2. Also made room for some other techs I wanted to play. Then for one of Lightsworns, we have the 1 Felice, and then finally the 1 Minerva. Felice isn't as good as Wolf, but it's good for being a level 4 tuner that can destroy a monster, mill 3. Minerva is good because it's a level 3 tuner, and then when it's milled, you can mill an extra card, which can sometimes get you those cards that you need. So that's it for the Lightsworn engine. For Clowns, we have the triple Damage Juggler, the triple Hat Tricker, and then the double Trick Clown. With cutting down Trick Clown to 2, I did have room to put the third Hat Tricker in. I do find it pretty good because it's really easy with this deck to get 2 or more monsters on the field to where you can just summon Hat Tricker for free. It's another level 4 for your rank 4 and Synchro 8 plays, and it also is an Earth, which means you can go into Nat Beast with Glow-Up-Bulb. Then we have the 2 Honest, since most of the deck is light-based. For Ones, we have the 1 Electromagnetic Turtle, basically Necro Gardener on crack. The 1 Glow-Up-Bulb for making Nat Beast, and can also help with making your level 9 Synchro plays. Then we have the 1 Goblinberg and 1 Photon Thrasher. As I said before, Goblinberg, this is here because it can help get dead cards out of your hand, especially Wolf or, say, Trick Clown, that wouldn't otherwise be doing anything in your hand. You can just extend your plays for more rank 4s and Synchro 8 plays. And it also is an Earth, so if you have this in Glow-Up-Bulb, you have an instant Nat Beast. And then with Photon Thrasher, if you control no monsters, you can just easily Spell Summon it, just a free monster on board. And again, is a level 4 that's searchable off of Rhoda. So that's it for monsters. For spells, we have the triple Solar Recharge and the double Charge of Light Brigade, since we do have a pretty big Lightsworn engine in here. The triple Instant Fusion, since Norden is absolutely busted in this kind of deck. Then for one of those, we have the 1 Foolish, the 1 Rhoda to search out Raiden, Photon Thrasher, and Goblinberg, and then finally the 1 Soul Charge. So that's it for the main deck. Total of 40 cards. It's 29 monsters and 11 spells. Now on to the extra deck. So starting off, we have the 2 Norden. Since this deck does mill a lot, it's very unlikely that you actually need to or be able to resolve free Instant Fusion. Plus, the extra deck space is pretty tight, so that's why I only run the 2 Norden with the free Instant Fusion. For Synchros, we have Nat Beast, which is pretty much an auto win against Pendulum decks right now. For 7s, we have Black Rose and Michael. For 8s, we have Scrap Dragon and Stardust Dragon. We have Mistworm for our 9. And finally, we have the 1 Star Eater for an 11. So I will say, as far as Synchros are concerned, if you own a Trishula, I definitely would play Trishula over Mistworm. And then if you own Psyframe Lord Omega, I'd probably cut out Scrap Dragon for that. And then the reason I play Star Eater in here is because he's actually easier to make than you think. you got a bunch of different ways you can make it. You can make it with one of your level 3 tuners plus 2 4s. You can make it with one of your level 4 tuners plus a 3 and a 4. There's a lot of different combinations that can get you the Star Eater. And it's a pretty powerful card, especially going forward post-Bosch, because it's something that can't be negated by Solemn Strike or Warning or anything like that. And then when it attacks, it's just unaffected by card effects, which is also pretty good. Then for rank 4s, we have Abyss Dweller, Castel, Dark Rebellion, Diamond Dire Wolf, 101, and then finally Perform Mage Trapeze Magician. As far as the rank 4s are concerned, obviously if you have a Daigusta Emerald, I definitely would play that. Not only because with any Lightsworn deck, you can easily get to the point where you're about to deck out, Daigusta Emerald can save you there, but you can also recycle some of your key engine cards back to use again, like Trick Clown and Wolf. I'd also, if you are good enough to actually win a Minerva XYZ as your YCS prize card, or if you're baller enough to actually dish out $1,000 for Minerva, definitely be worth playing because it just really puts this deck over the top. And then as far as Cyber Dragon Infinity is concerned, if you can squeeze the room for it, because obviously you would need, the Ptolemaeus, Nova, and Infinity, so you need to take up 3 extra deck spaces just for Infinity. If you can make the room for it, I definitely would do it. As far as Emerald and Minerva is concerned, I would cut the Diamond Dire and Dark Rebellion. Some other cards you could consider cutting, you could cut the Star Eater. I mean, if you don't have Minerva, you could just cut one of the other rank 4s. I don't really know what else from there. You can maybe cut a Synchro if you have to. But as good as Infinity is, and as easy as it is to make in here, it's just really hard to make room for it because you play Norden, you play Synchros, and then you play your limited amount of XZs here. So, I mean, Infinity obviously is easy to make in this kind of deck that spams out level 4s, but the problem is just finding room for it. So, that's what I have to say about that. And then Rafflesia is not really worth making because he'll more than likely mill off your whole trap cards before you get to see him off of Rafflesia, in my opinion. Then for the side deck, we have the third Lila, to deal with that annoying back row, bait out those counter traps like Solemn Strike that Pepe will be using post-Bosch. The one Thunder King, you only search in this deck off of Rhoda and Charge, and it's really good to put out a first turn Thunder King if you're able to, just shut off that searching. The free MST, which will definitely be replaced with Twin Twisters once I get my hands on those. I even find Twin Twister for, like a milling deck like Lightsworn or Infernoid. I honestly find Twin Twister a better option than Galaxy Cyclone, just because you can get a dead card out of your hand or a card that you want to have in graveyard with this card cost, and then you can pop 2 back row, any 2 back row, whether it's set or face up. Whereas with Galaxy Cyclone, it's very specific as to, hey, if it's you're using it from the hand, you can pop a face down. If you're using it from the graveyard, you have to pop a face up. So that's why I personally would choose Twin Twister over Galaxy Cyclone. That, and it's a bit cheaper right now. Then we have Dark Hole and Raigeki. It's an OTK-oriented deck, so if you're going second, it's nice to have these just to blow up a board and then go for those OTKs. Then we have the free Breakthrough skill. It's effect negation you can use from the graveyard if it's milled, so obviously it's good for that reason in this kind of deck. The free roll Decree to stop back row, and then finally the 2 Mischief with the Gnomes to lower those levels against any kind of Synchro or XYZ based deck. So that's it for this updated deck profile on my Clown Swarms. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time.